Let's get you some CNOTE here. Cowboys news of the evening. We do it most days here on your home of the Cowboys. We take a look at the top Cowboys stories that are making headlines and going viral across social media. We go to the Know-It-Alls podcast. Tyler Guyton, local guy, joined the program, and he was talking about what he'd like to see the Cowboys do in the draft. Take it away, Tyler.
We have someone here in the chat asking, is there anybody that you like, I want to play with that guy?
That's a good question. I think, obviously we just lost Jordan Lewis, so that's a big loss. I have a buddy over at the Longhorns named Jahdae Barron who really, really wants to be a Cowboy, and I think he'd be a great addition to the squad.
Okay,
there we go, Tyler.
I would say Tyler Smith knows how to scout.
Yeah.
What about Tyler Guyton?
Oh, what did I say? Is Guyton?
Oh, my bad. That's Tyler Smith.
It was Tyler Guyton.
It was Tyler Guyton?
It was Tyler Guyton.
Oh, that's my bad.
Okay.
Double my bad.
One of the Tylers.
Yeah.
But it was Guyton.
Guyton.
You nailed the Tyler.
I'd say he knows.
He knows how to scout him out.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that Jahdae Barron wants to be a Cowboy.
Yeah.
And now, to be honest, though, I'm seeing a lot of mocks where he's going ahead. Like he's getting picked in the top 10 or even at 11 to the Niners.
Daniel Jeremiah, it was one of the first ones that started putting Barron ahead of like Will Johnson and guys like that. So yeah, but he's a hell of a.
The only thing about him is he doesn't have long arms. Every other box, it feels like he checks. And the dude is tough as nails. You watch him meet Scattaboo in the hole. Yeah. Decleat him. That's your corner. And it's man, it's zone. He's fast, 4.40. I don't know what's not to like. You have some position flex a little bit as well. This is a no-brainer kind of selection for whatever team ends up getting him.
Especially because Jordan Lewis left and you haven't really brought in anything good. Yeah. It's
everything you said is absolutely true. I don't have an answer for you. I mean, I don't have we got to, I don't know. Like
how often do short arm guys fail? That everything looks good in college. They have short arms. You take them. You're like, well, of course it didn't work. He's got short arms. Can't do it in the NFL.
I tell you what, I don't have a number or a stat that says it's short arm guys.
I'm going to find something. I know Nick Saban recently was on a podcast and he was talking about the
length of corners,
the parameters around the cornerback position.
See, that's what I'm saying. He came from a Belichick system, which came from a Parcells system. But, like I say, in all my years of scouting, I never saw a study that said, well, short arm players fail more than, trust me, his ability to drive on the ball and to position himself and not have to go through a guy to get to the quickness, the agility, all those things that he plays with, it makes up for some deficiencies that he has with the arm length. But man, you watch him play, he gets his hands on the ball. So I don't even know what to say because you could absolutely love Will Johnson, who is a good player, who's 6'2" and he's got length and all that. But he's not as good as Barron. He's not as good as Reville. Mm-hmm. And even I like Morrison from Notre Dame just as much.
If it wasn't for his hip issues, I think he would be a surefire top 20.
There have been some notable misses like D. Milner and Gary and Conley, but Jair Alexander, Asante Samuel Jr., Jason Verrett, all short-arm guys that have had a tremendous amount of success in the NFL.
And I think some of those guys are short just in
short
general.
Players.
Like Barron is at least 5'11".
He's 5'11". He's almost 200 pounds.
So like Nick Saban on like with the Belichick stuff like you were talking about, the critical factors for a corner, they want him to be 6 feet tall. Mm-hmm. So I guess he doesn't technically check that box even though he's there.
He's 5'11", 194.
Okay, so Nick Saban said with Belichick, their standard was 6 feet, at least 180 pounds, and a sub 4.5 40. So he doesn't quite meet the 6 feet if you're going to be super stringent about the 1 inch, but he's absolutely meets the 180, and he absolutely meets the speed sub 4.5. This was a legit 4.4 flat at the combine. Man coverage skills, that's something they want. Jahdae Barron, does he have that?
Yeah.
I would say yes. Tackling ability, Absolutely. Again, just go watch him meet Scadaboo, one of the toughest guys to bring down, in the hole. We're talking a 1-yard freaking gain with your corner meeting in the A gap, Scadaboo, and then downfield ball skills. Those were the traits. So it doesn't even mention anything about arm length from Saban.
He goes and gets the ball though.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
This guy he is a high IQ,
high character,
high IQ.
Why do you seem kind of down about this, Brian? Do you think the Cowboys won't take him?
No, they won't. I don't think they will. But just because of what you talked about with the parameters, I'm down on it because I'm down on it. I'm taking this too personal. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I'm taking it too personal. I think Barron's a better player than Johnson. I'm taking that personally just because one is 6'2" and one is 5'11". I'm taking that too, and I just think there's better players. And
isn't he going to play in the slot anyway?
Who, Barron?
Wouldn't he, if you took him?
Barron?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he can play.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
See, that's
Short
what I'm saying.
guys.
I wouldn't play Johnson in the slot. So that's what you have to do. You play Johnson, you draft Johnson. Johnson is a good player, but you'd have to probably kick Bland inside is what you'd probably have to do.
Okay, it's the CNOTE here, Cowboys news of the evening.
I think this guy is Trent McDuffie. That's who I think Barron is.
Trent
McDuffie,
for those who don't know, very good player.
For the Chiefs, he's locked down.
I think this guy's Trent McDuffie. That's my comparison, my pro comparison.
Howie Roseman coming in hot against domestic violence players, says won't even touch the film on anyone who's been convicted of DV. Says if you say, well, it happened 10 years ago and I learned it, they don't care. Says they aren't looking for the best players. They're looking for the right ones.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got a little bit of a DV conviction on your record, the Eagles aren't even considering you bringing you in. I don't know. You know, it's every team's going to draw their own line on this. Certainly, they've proven you can have a lot of success being very tough on it. I just think that not having second chances can be a slippery slope. You know, and you know people are going to mess up. So, you know, if you draw that line, maybe you have an assistant GM, maybe you have a VP of sales. You're going to have a bunch of people that are sinful. It's biblical, you know, nothing personal, but you might have to end up moving on from a lot of different people when you draw a line in the sand. Otherwise, you're going to look like a hypocrite. So you got to be ready to fire everybody.
I wonder how many of these, though, are actual convictions. You know, because so many of them they end up getting, some type of
plea deal.
Yeah, some type of deals, or it gets kind of brushed under from like an actual.
The courts can't convict because the victim doesn't want to go through with it.
Yeah. So I still think that keeps plenty of guys open.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. Like, where do you draw the line on probably did it, but the courts couldn't, do a subpoena or whatever. Okay, celebrity Cowboys fan Kelly Clarkson on the Kylie Kelly podcast. She was dunking on Jerry, and I love this. Okay, I'll tell you why I love this. She said, I just read something with my sister, and I guess Jerry Jones had said, well, now is the time. And I was like, oh, okay, it was different from the last now's the time, very different from last year's time, which was also the time. She's mad. We have moved into a new age for Cowboys fans. You had the 70s and 90s, the golden eras. You had the post-golden era. Okay, then you had Bill Parcells and this great offensive line that for the last 20 years allowed them to be good. Now those things are done. You have Schottenheimer, who nobody wanted, coaching the team. I think the fans have decided they've had enough, Brian, and they're no longer saying, "Oh, we're the Cowboys, we're going to get this done." The celebrities used to be loud and proud. Now they're disgruntled. I think it's frustrating.
And they have every right to be.
Yeah.
They have absolutely every right to be. And and it's there's something that needs to be done. And I think the fan base is very frustrated when they see their main rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, how they go about their business, how the owner stays out of the way. All these things lead to a Super Bowl. And Cowboy fans take a beating from Eagle fans about this.
Yep.
So I don't blame them for saying they've had enough. They're not wrong.
So I think one of two things are going to happen fairly soon. They're going to have to change their ways, maybe bring in a real GM like they brought in Parcells to get the stadium, or they'll keep it the same, but at least we'll have to buy a winning roster. I think they're coming to that time soon when you have all the legends, all the celebrities now being like, forget it, we're no longer relevant. You follow it up with another 6 or 7 win season, I think we could be there by this point next year. And that's exciting to me. As depressing as it is, I think the Cowboys truly need to hit rock bottom and have their celebrity fans dunking on them in public in order for, we to get to a point where meaningful change can happen.